So this channel is supposed to be about, like, video game stuff. That's me talking to myself there, by the way. Jeff, this channel is supposed to be about video game stuff. But, I want to talk about this. Why is this so good? Why did they have to make this so good? Disney is in the business of making themselves hard to hate, I guess. I mean, I don't want to be that rabid fan that just laps everything up. I mean, when they announced they were going to be spinning off the MCU into 46,000 shows on Disney Plus, I groaned. And yet here we are. It's good. It's good. So here we go. As soon as I watched episode 5, I knew I wanted to make this video. For those of you who may be watching from the future, episode 6 is not out yet, at least at time of recording. I'm going to try and get this video done before the 6th episode airs, but we'll see how that goes. I have a not so great track record when it comes to getting videos done. But that's where we are, though. We're 5 episodes in, and I'm not going to speculate about episode 6 or what might happen at this point. I would really like to see the resolution to these character arcs as opposed to just a big punch fight, but I want to pry this thing open and just yell about all the stuff that I think makes it awesome. Complex, interesting, consistent characters that learn and grow over time. Attention to detail, and most of all, themes. Both continuations of themes from previous Captain America films and new ones. Because I feel like too often, comic book movie fans get distracted talking about lore and superhero fight scenes. Oh my god, do you think this serum is actually more powerful than Erskine's version of the serum? Because Bucky has the serum too, and a vibranium arm, but like Bucky did not seem like he was a match for John Walker Solo, like without Sam and the wings, and we occasionally forget about the stuff that makes things actually work, like as a narrative. I think this show has enough superhero fighting and Marvel Comics lore nods to get the fanboys salivating, but, well, I guess in short, I wouldn't be here if there wasn't other stuff too. Like, is it just me? Am I crazy? Or is Sebastian Stan just acting his ass off in this show? I mean, Jesus, look at that. I'm buying this. I'm seeing trauma. Zemo's character is so consistent and nuanced, it makes me want to, I don't know, do a backflip or something. You can tell the writers really put thought into what he would actually do as, like, a person, instead of just trying to fold him into some flat box of hero or villain. Like, oh, Zemo is redeeming himself, and he's fun now, so he's not gonna, you know, murder people in cold blood anymore, right? Wrong. Oh, so Zemo is still a bad guy. So when he has the opportunity, he'll steal some serum to give himself superpowers, right? Wrong. I love this moment. Yes, King. Or Baron, I guess. Smash those vials, yes! Baron Zemo is a round, interesting, and consistent character. He believes that the desire to become superhuman, vis-a-vis this serum, is inexorably linked to the idea of supremacy. And therefore, anyone who takes the serum is basically Red Skull, a supremacist. A we have left humanity behind eugenicist ubermensch one little push away from a genocidal ideology. That's what he believes. The serum is evil, and Zemo puts his money where his mouth is. Just as it happens, and believe it or not, I didn't actually plan this, I'm kind of a doofus and I didn't even realize what I was doing. I just happened to rewatch all 3 Captain America movies right before this show premiered, and I started watching it. I wasn't like prepping or anything, I just wanted something to watch, and I happened to pick the exact movies that would perfectly prime me for this show, I guess. But what I did on accident, I'm sure a lot of Marvel fans would have done on purpose. And I hope at least a few have, because the attention to detail here is just awesome, and I want people to appreciate the hell out of it. There's the big character moments that are consistent, of course. Zemo, like I've already been yelling about, passes up the opportunity to take the serum, and he deep sixes the guy who created it, just like he passed up the opportunity to control a team of brainwashed super soldiers in Cap 2, and deep sixed all of them. Because he's a goddamn man of principle, and I love it. But I'm also talking about smaller stuff. Bucky sleeps on the floor, just like Cap and Sam talk about, because he's a damaged, broken man who has been shaped by war. Isaiah Bradley references Steve's actions in the first film, and also the maybe suspicious coincidence that he happens to be a perfect Aryan ideal, like Zemo points out in Civil War. And our new Captain America, John Walker, also matches this ideal. Sam uses his skills as a counselor that we see in Cap 2 to try and talk down Carly. Bucky nods to the fact that Steve told him what he was planning for the Shield, which is why he seemed to see it coming at the end of Endgame, etc., blah, blah, blah. But if we want to talk theme and character and ideology, we got to talk about the big gun. Yeah, that's right. This is really why I'm here. This guy, John Walker. What a character. Oh my God. I hate him so much. He's the worst. He's entitled, he's full of rage, he carries himself like a prick generally, and his sense of empathy is just... The thing I love about this character, aside from the fact that he's rounded, like I feel like they all are, he's not completely an evil guy, you can still see his humanity. And also apart from the fact that he's so deliciously hateable, which is great for a villain in a show like this because it makes it just so cathartic to watch him get beaten, is that he's basically an exact proof for everything Erskine says in the first movie about why he picked Steve Rogers to be Captain America in the first place. They explain it pretty clearly in the first movie, and Battlestar actually reiterates it in this show. Who you pick to be your super soldier needs to factor in their moral fortitude, maybe more so than anything else. Because, as Erskine puts it,
the serum amplifies everything that is inside, so good becomes great, bad becomes worse.
Or, as Battlestar puts it,
power just makes a person more of themselves, right?
Or, as Robert Caro might put it, power's impact is shaped by intent. Or, to quote him directly, when you have enough power to do what you always wanted to do, then you see what the guy always wanted to do. In Cap 1, the first Avenger, we see two possible Captain Americas, skinny little Steve Rogers and Gilmore Hodge. Colonel Phillips wants to pick Hodge. Why? Well, as he says,
Hodge passed every test we gave him. He's big, he's fast, he obeys orders, he's a soldier.
Sound familiar?
You tested off the charts in every measurable category: speed, endurance.
But Erskine knows Hodge will make a bad Captain America. John Walker shows us why. John Walker is everything Hodge was, times 10.
Off the charts in every measurable category.
He's even stronger. He's faster. He obeys orders. He consistently makes the right decisions in the heat of battle. Whatever that's meant in previous engagements. But
He's a bully.
Do you know who I am?
the thing that really gets me about Walker is he thinks he's earned it.
Look, I've done the work, okay?
When Bucky challenges him with a reference to Steve's test from the first movie,
You ever jump on top of a grenade?
Walker thinks he's got all that and a bag of chips.
Yeah, actually I have 4 times.
But he betrays himself in the same sentence.
It's the thing I do with my helmet. It's a reinforced helmet. It's a long story.
He hasn't really answered Bucky's question, he's dodged it. The point of this test was that when Steve jumped on the grenade, he thought he was going to die. Everyone else ran, and he jumped on it to save their lives, believing that he was sacrificing himself. He laid down on the wire.
I think I would just cut the wire.
It's a reinforced helmet.
Always a way out.
I've been trying to steer clear of forums and fan communities this go around, to be honest. I think all the rampant fan speculation kind of shot WandaVision in the foot. It seemed to me like a lot of Marvel fans were so busy getting frothed up that Mephisto and Doctor Strange didn't pop up and start flinging colors at each other in the final battle that they failed to notice the honestly pretty sharp writing and, in my opinion, very poignant ending. So having disentangled myself from all that, I'm not really sure if anyone in the fan community at this point is speculating about whether Steve is still alive somewhere, and I'm not going to weigh in on that either, but God, just imagine what Steve would think of this guy.
I am Captain America.
You know, you may not be a threat, but you better stop pretending to be a hero.
Anyway, so that's Walker level 1, surface level. Let's talk Walker level 2. This line?
You built me.
That is a line right there. What is John Walker? Well, he's a bully. So why did they pick him to be Captain America? Let's think about this for a second. Walker thinks being the new Captain America makes him entitled to things. Like it's a privilege, a title that comes with authority and power. But you know what the real original Captain America spent most of his time doing? Disobeying orders, going against the grain, always standing up for what he thought was right, and more often than not, taking a beating for it. Examples. In the first movie, Cap rescues a bunch of POWs against orders behind enemy lines. The exact same thing Isaiah Bradley did. Put a pin in that, we'll come back to it. Second movie, Nick Fury's all like, we need these gunships in orbit to blow up terrorists. And Steve's like, ooh, that's a bit yuck.
This isn't freedom. This is fear. By holding a gun to everyone on Earth and calling it protection.
Fast forward like 30 seconds, and Cap finds himself on the run, tearing down the entire organization he was working for at the start of the movie.
Shield, Hydra. It all goes.
Boom. Cap 3, Civil War. Government says, sign this piece of paper. It says we own you. You work for the UN, blah, blah. Cap says, screw that. I'm going to do whatever I think is right, and I will accept the consequences of that myself.
What if this panel sends us somewhere we don't think we should go? What if there's somewhere we need to go and they don't let us? This document just shifts the blame.
Fast forward 30 seconds again, and hey look, he's on the run. Funny how that keeps happening.
Congratulations, Cap. You're a criminal.
Phillips wanted to pick Hodge. Phillips represents the military here. He values men that are big, fast, and who follow orders. Erskine picked Steve, but if it was up to Phillips, up to the military, Hodge would have been Captain America. You think Hodge would have done any of this? You think Walker would have done any of this? No. They follow orders. These guys would have towed the line. In this situation, either of them would have done as they were told and become an unwitting pawn of Hydra. In this situation, they would have done as they were told, signed the accords, and let Bucky get shot, blah, blah, blah. I guess that kind of ruins Zemo's plan to get them all to fight, but the point is not just that Steve Rogers does what he thinks is right, but that makes him a liability to the military. They don't like that.
Captain America is a fugitive from S.H.I.E.L.D.
Congratulations, Cap. You're a criminal.
Being a good Captain America and being a military asset aren't complementary traits. In fact, they're almost mutually exclusive. John Walker is a bad Captain America because essentially Phillips got to pick this time. Walker is Hodge, the US military's ideal Captain America. He's big, he's strong, he's fast, and he follows orders. When John Walker says,
I only ever did what you asked of me, what you told me to be and trained me to do, and I did it.
he's not wrong. He's a person shaped, constructed, built from the ground up by the US military. He is their perfect ideal. That's why they selected him as their symbol. But it's also exactly why he makes a bad one. He's a big, strong, arrogant, order-following, line-towing bully. Because that's what the military wants. This is what I mean when I say the show continues the themes of previous films. It reiterates and builds upon the theses of previous entries in Captain America's story. In Cap 1, we're wrestling with the nature of power itself. Who deserves power? What power does to you? How you should use it? That's back.
Do we want to live in a world full of people like the Red Skull?
Power just makes a person more of themselves, right?
In Cap 2, we're dealing with the effect that the military apparatus has on people, and wrestling with the fact that authority, especially military authority, isn't always righteous. It's a means that sometimes creates its own ends, and it chews up the lives of innocent people.
You lose someone? My wingman, Riley.
I swear to miss a plastic bag. I thought it was an IED.
In Civil War, we're dealing with the question of power again, as well as the questions of governmental and military authority, and the nature of responsibility. Hell, as much as I've been harping on the fact that Walker is essentially Phillips' ideal Captain America, he's just as much Ross's ideal Captain America.
Compromise, reassurance. That's how the world works.
But as much as I love these echoes of old themes and motifs, I love the new ones even more. This show has moral grayness to it that we haven't seen much of in Marvel, and it's interested in talking about race in a way that we haven't really seen before either. Black Panther obviously brings it up.
It's about 2 billion people all over the world that looks like us, but their lives are a lot harder.
It's just life around here.
But that movie felt broadly like it was more about empowerment than it was about digging into the grim reality of race relations specifically in the US. This show goes there.
They will never let a black man be Captain America.
Isaiah Bradley is the obvious point of entry here. He's a black super soldier that no one knew about.
There was a black super soldier decades ago, and nobody knew about it.
Because the military didn't want him to be a symbol the way Steve was.
They erased me.
We're confronting the reality of a military with a foundational racial bias here. It's willing to consume the valor and destroy the lives of black men, but isn't interested in honoring or glorifying them the way that it is white men. Isaiah Bradley disobeys orders to rescue POWs behind enemy lines, just like Steve did. But instead of winning the respect of a superior officer, that same decision gets Bradley locked up. Guess he doesn't follow orders, so now he's a lab rat. For 30 years. The inhumane experimentation.
People running tests, taking my blood. Got shot up with different versions of that serum. But they don't tell us what it is. Some of us start dying off.
Brings to mind real-life examples of biological experimentation done on real-life people of color. Most notably Tuskegee, but also any number of other lesser-known examples. And it's raw. Bradley feels excluded from the American ideal that Cap represents, and it's easy to see why. Even an optimist, an idealist like Sam Wilson is not immune.
Look, is this guy bothering you?
No, he's not bothering me. Do you know who this is?
And this scene is just...
Sir, just calm down.
I am calm. What do you want? We're just standing here
Just
talking.
give him your ID.
No, I'm not giving him shit. We're just talking.
Hey.
The implications of that are intense. Where might this have gone if Bucky hadn't been there to de-escalate? The cop had backup on the way. Could Sam have ended up in prison like Bradley for defending himself against this cop? Or could it have gone the other way?
Get to the rock! Get to the rock! Take him down! Just take him down! Just take him down! Let him go! That's never the killing him! You're killing him! I can't breathe! I can't breathe!
This show means business, man. And hey, I'm just a vanilla-ass white guy over here. I mean, hell, I'm Marvel's standard target demographic. White male between the ages of 15 and 35, nerdy. But I'm glad to see that Marvel's not just interested in catering only to me. This wider net makes things feel a little bit more real, a little bit more alive. And between that, the close attention that's being paid to the details and ideas of Captain America's narrative as a whole, and the just excellent character work that I'm seeing, well, I'm glad that the show turned out this way. And I hope they end it in a way that's authentic to that, and not just a big punch fight. I mean, obviously we're gonna get a big punch fight, but we can have a little bit more to it than that, right? Hey, here's hoping we see those themes and characters tied up and brought to bear in a big way on Friday. Also, as an unrelated final note, apparently Wyatt Russell, the real-life dude that plays new, hateable, bad Captain America, is getting hate mail in real life. So don't do that if that's you. Like, actors are different from the characters they play. We all understand that, right? That's not like too advanced. This character is supposed to suck. If you hate him, that means the actor is doing a good job. God, this is just Prince Joffrey all over again. Hey guys, thanks for watching. My next video that I was supposed to have out by the end of March was going to be about Mercenaries 2. Obviously that's not done yet, and we're almost all the way through April. This video is partially to blame for that. I just decided to make this instead of finishing the video that I had already recorded and shot all the footage for and started editing and was already working on. I swear, I've never been diagnosed, but every year I wonder more and more if I might just have ADHD or something. Anyway, that video is still coming, so if you like this, or if you're interested in maybe seeing that, you know, think about giving me a subscribe, maybe a thumbs up on this. If you are here just for the Marvel stuff, you might be better served with like a Mr. Sunday Movies or something. I like that channel. I'll link it in the description. But, you know, who knows? I might do another video like this eventually. If it pops into my head, that's just kind of the way I work, apparently. Either way, in the meantime, thanks again for watching. I'm Big, I'm Stupid, and I'm Jeff. Hope to see you next time.